Chairman.
Call Dr. Rajin Prasad.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm pleased also to take a call on the committee stages of this bill and to add to the voices that have already expressed both our support for this bill because of the area in which the area the bill addresses, but also to point out a number of other points. When we take all of the clauses that we are debating today as a whole, we have to ask ourselves the question, do these clauses taken as a whole represent the government's next step in addressing domestic violence? Because we all know what is the nature of domestic violence. There's not a person in this House that doesn't believe that we should be doing a whole lot more than we have done. And every bill that's come into this House on domestic violence has been supported by this side of the House. And I do remember asking the Minister directly, Minister, this is an area we will cooperate with you, and he has assured that there will be cooperation, and he's also said that there will be a comprehensive addressing of these issues. And one also assumed that there was some urgency around this. So, taken together, the clauses of Part 2 certainly do not constitute addressing the domestic violence in a comprehensive kind of way. I mean, just look at the time frame. And the first step was in 2009. And the next step was 2 years later. Does that signal the urgency with which the government sees this particular area? And of course it doesn't. And the government must wear that as a criticism, that it has not managed the House or the issue, probably both, that to bring such an important area far quicker to the House, particularly when the work had been done in the Select Committee. And so I wonder, how many children, for example, or how many cases have passed since this bill was introduced where those who were the victims might not have benefited from the clauses. So certainly this doesn't constitute a comprehensive approach as well. I want to address a number of factors. The clause 621B begins to does talk about effectively definition of children. And you've heard my colleagues, Mr. Chairman, talk about the SOPs, the two SOPs that we've had. And what lies at the heart of those SOPs is the nature of childhood and the definition of children. I have not heard one argument that is actually sustainable as to why Jacinda Ardern's SOP can't be accepted. And I thought Mr. Burrows went somewhere where he actually argued against himself. Because some children leave home at 16, they decided to have the age at 17. Well, there's no logic in that, whereas we know that the definition of a child under UN conventions is up to 18. And therefore here was an opportunity to fix that. And I've noticed this in other bills before this one was not before the Social Service Select Committee, but certainly there was an opportunity in other bills for the government to signal that the age of 18 ought to be adopted. And here's another bill where it hasn't, and there is an attempt here to fix that through our SOPs. What Jacinda Ardern's amendment also does is really internalise the fact that children reach maturation at different rates. And if somebody reaches maturation at 14, 15 or 16, that's well and good. But for others, 18 is at least the mandated one internationally. And remember also that these are children where they have been victims of violence. And therefore, God only knows to what extent has that maturation been retarded. So at least we thought we might have had a better response from the Minister in the chair, that this particular amendment would be looked at from that absolutely scientific point of view. There's nothing ideological about that. It's just to say that here is an opportunity to address a particular problem. And of course the Minister has not taken that opportunity. And we are committed on this side of the House to address that. But, Mr. Chairman.
The Honourable David Parker.
Mr. Chairman, as prior speakers have said,